All right, now we're on. All right, everybody, if you're tuning in on my channel now, I have another YouTube Sensei I'm talking with. Hey, can actually control who the people see on the main screen. That's nice. But got another Sensei here of mine. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Tony from the Bush Hunt channel, and my channel originally was starting off to be a hunting channel, but it took a different route. And I right now I currently do a whole bunch of logos, graphics, and video editing for a whole bunch of channels that I'm pretty sure most of you have seen in the gun community. And that's what I do right now. And I put out some videos. I probably have like 15 videos or something like that.
Yeah, I tried looking up your channel one time because when I look up channels before I subscribe to them, I always like watch at least five of their videos. Like, okay, do I like their viewpoint or do I like the language or whatever? I'm like, wow, this guy doesn't have that money out, but
No.
and you have a completely different way of running your videos too. Like, they're not just you talking. There's music behind it, and you have to subscribe and everything all below. Do you actually have a degree in like designing or something?
That's funny you asked that because my background is really audio. I went to school for audio, for studio and live sound. So a lot of concerts. Um, what else? Big meetings for corporate clients. I used to have my own AV company. I did video over there, but it was a different kind of video. It was projectors and lighting, and putting up, I guess PowerPoint presentations up, and just running DVDs and stuff. But as far as video editing and graphics, that is my brother's background, and I started picking up stuff from him little by little, just to know how it works. And then when Obama came into office, I had to close down shop as far as my AV company, and I was freelancing, working for different companies, and I ran into this one video production company that had AV, which there was like 10% AV, and then the rest of it was uh, video editing and photography and graphic design, which I just jumped on it, and the guy was like, he was open to me like learning and kind of going with it, and in a year I was like up to speed, and that's all I do now. So
Wow, that's nice.
yeah.
See, I work at a sort of hydraulic machine shop, and I'm also having to learn everything because I do not come from that kind of background at all. So I had to learn how to wire, and I'm still learning how to do some metals when they need me, but mostly I just put a bunch of parts in bags and send it off.
Dude,
But
it's funny because like most of my, I guess, knowledge from this, it was mainly my brother, but then like to really get it down packed and like up to date stuff, it was all YouTube, man. It was all YouTube, and it's just been like speed with like everything, just like quick, learn this, learn this, learn this, and like it's
wow.
pretty much the same thing. It's all a different, like, it's a different menu as far as like getting in a different program, like, because you can start off with those cheap free programs, and then you build up to like the bigger ones, and it's the same thing, it's the same idea, it's just a different menu system of where things are at and how to do it. And dude, like the tutorial stuff and just YouTube, man.
Yeah,
YouTube is a great thing, man.
I know, I love it. See, I'm too cheap to actually buy the good stuff. I'm still going off a Windows Media Player, so I'm doing the best I can with it, but I would love to get the video inside of the video relay and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
and that's the difference between, like, paying for something or getting something for free. You're limited on most of those things, but yeah, like the program that I use, it was like up in the thousands of like what
Wow.
I spent on it. But like it's one of those things where like that comes from like my business background, as far as, hey, you gotta put the money in to make the money back. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's been
which
good.
probably explains why I'm not making barely anything off of my channel. I'm not putting the money into
But
it.
I'm not making much money off of my channel either. I recently started like charging some guys, and like before that it was just bartering, and then I opened up a PayPal, and then like I paid like half of the AR that I just bought was with the logo money. It's from
That's
YouTube.
nice.
So that was pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah.
what else? Yeah, and that AR, a funny story because that AR wasn't supposed to happen. Like we were supposed to go on a hog hunt. Um, I'm in Florida, so like the closest hog hunt is about 2 miles. No, no, not 2 miles. About 2 hours north of where I'm at.
In South Georgia, or is it still Florida?
No, Florida, Florida. Yeah, I'm
Still
all the way.
Florida.
Yeah, I'm in Miami. So like,
Oh, okay, that far down.
yeah, yeah, I'm all the way south. So I had to like drive towards Lake Okeechobee to get some decent hog hunts.
Wow.
And that got kind of complicated as far as the schedule with everybody's schedule because I was gonna take a group, we're gonna rent an RV and do it really nice, for like a whole week. But
Uh-huh.
it got kind of crazy, so I was like, forget that. Let me just get an AR, and I bought an AR.
That's nice. Yeah, that'll fit into one of the questions I have here. But the reason I'm asking about hunting is because a lot of friends at the work where I work now are big into hunting. At least the two or three guys that I'm around a lot, and I've had some redneck friends that have been into hunting their whole lives. So I mean, it's just any way that I could get into any firearms way as my love for this hobby is going on. I want to get into all of it, the tactical world and all the military style, which is
Right.
really what first got me into it. I'm a big military nut, but
Nice.
hunting came up, and I told myself last year, after I get settled down and from not having a job for 4 months, after I get my school bill settled and all that stuff, I'm going to get into hunting. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I already took the online hunter safety course, and I'm waiting for them to set up the actual uh, in-class dates for me to get the hunter
Right.
certification in order to get my license. So I'm trying to work that up and get whatever I can get for when deer season comes up. I was hoping to either go like hog hunting or squirrel hunting, something to give me some sort of experience.
Right. To start something.
Oh yeah, because I mean, even at a gun show in February I went to when I got my 12 gauge, I bought some segmenting 22 rounds just specifically for small game hunting, but I hadn't gone. So that's why I'm asking you, doing this whole thing here. Um, so on the few hunts you have, what is your preferred way of hunting? Like, in the stand, hunting them, actual tracking them down?
See, that's funny you asked that because one thing when I was looking around for different properties, um, I do it on private properties. I don't go through like the Fish and Wildlife because like it gets pretty expensive. And there's there's the pros and cons I guess to that. I prefer the private properties. It's less hassle in a way. Um, and I'm always asking around as far as I don't want the buggies. I want to be on foot and just looking for a hog versus the tours that they take you and they're like, okay, the hogs are right here, shoot
Okay.
it so we can get back. I'm like, no, 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 I
It's
want
like,
like
here
a
it
hog
is, you
day.
just bag it.
Right.
All right.
I want to hunt.
Okay, so you're actually the stalking mentality of
Right.
hunting.
Yeah. I'd rather, like, hey, let's be quiet. Let's like walk slow. If we see one far away, this and that. But like, no, like the patience to like sit down in a what's up, like up in the tree or or in a stand or whatever. I'll do that for turkey, but no, not for hogs. I'd rather be on the floor and just running
So
if I
you're
have to.
so you're more into hog hunting. And
Yeah, 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 and mainly because where I live, because like there's deer here, but like it's like
I didn't think about that. See, I'm in Georgia, and deer hunting's a big thing. I mean, there's some of them that are into turkey or some hog, but I mean, most of them is deer. They wait. I mean, they just start talking February. Oh man, I can't wait for deer season. I'm like, these people are fanatics about it.
yeah,
So,
there's a different deer that's here. It's not that meaty deer that
they're like
that
small little dogs, almost like
yeah,
overgrown dogs with antlers.
yeah, yeah. So I'd rather go for a hog any day
All right, and
because
there's
I'm
also
here.
a lot of meat you can't get off a hog, right?
The there is like I prefer like I don't want to say babies, but I prefer the younger ones. It's a different quality of meat.
Yeah.
We do have like those 400-pound hogs, but those are trophies. I wouldn't even try to eat that meat. That
Nah,
meat's
you
just
gotta
sitting
shave
there.
the skin for all that. Yeah.
So, um, yeah, and I have like I have the barbecue here. I can also do a charcoal grill, and I have the box where you can actually put the whole hog in. That's the
Oh
other way.
wow.
Yeah, so I have like my options of cooking.
Wait, since you're in the hog hunting, this just came to my mind. Will you ever try doing like head cheese? See if you can do any of that?
um, not right now. Maybe when I retire and I have the time to like really do that, but no, man.
I thought of anybody doing that, but I'm like, I know they do that. I'm not sure if anybody has ever thought of actually doing that themselves, but that'd be
I
interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a process, and like, that takes time, man.
Yeah,
But no, no, not me right now. Not where I'm
I'm big into cheese. That's why I asked.
at. Cool.
So, like, like with all the time you've been hunting, what's your favorite rifle to hunt with?
um, what? Okay, I seriously, I've only gone through like 5 hunts out in my life, which it's
Uh-huh.
really low. And like, once again, I started this channel, to like to really get out there, but life is funny and the way it works and like the different routes you take.
Yeah.
Um, what I used to use back then, it was just 223. Um, because that's what my friends had, and that's pretty much who I went out to hunt with. Right now, I have the 30-06, which it would be great. It would
Oh
have put them
yeah.
down right away. It's a bigger ammo for that meat. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
the 223, like it would hit them, but then they would run. So then now you have to go follow it and see where the blood, like led to and all that. The
Yeah.
30-06, I haven't used it yet on a hog, but I'm pretty sure it'll drop them right
Yeah,
there.
because that 5.56 flies faster.
And
Or
right,
the or you were talking 30.6, weren't you?
yeah, 30-06, right.
My brain fart. But yeah, that I've heard 30.6. My friends actually hunt a lot. I call them like their dad. I call him like the redneck boss or all that stuff. But
Sweet.
he stopped hunting with 30.6 because he kept getting his face too close to the scope, and he got scope bit too many times. So he just stopped hunting the 30.6 and went to like 243s and all that.
Okay. Yeah, it has a kick, man. I have a shotgun, a Mossberg 835, and I thought the Mossberg would have more of a kick, but man, that 30-06 has one heck of a kick.
Yeah, that's another question I've been having. What's the difference between the Mossberg 835 and the like 500?
um, I know for mine, I have to change my barrel to shoot a slug. Um, Whew, what are the other? I know, like I think the 500 out of the box, you can shoot all types of rounds and the slugs and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, my barrel is it shoots 12 gauge, but it's between a 10 and a 12 gauge, and I think
Okay.
that's why like I paid $400 for it. I got it at Walmart. Like one day I went into Walmart, I was like, man, that's a nice shotgun, and I just bought it. So it was like one of those random kind of things.
Impulse buy. Wow.
Yeah, man, it's been great, man. I love that gun. I love that gun. I love
Because
it.
I when I was looking for 12 gauge last year, I kept seeing, 835s. I'm like, what's the difference between these? Because a lot of the Mossberg stuff, it says the stocks and different stuff. It said for the 500, 930, and the 830, 835. So I guess the 835 is specifically for hunting, right? Right? Would that be a
Um,
safe bet?
the one that I did buy, it has a turkey choke on it up on the front.
Okay.
So like the pattern, like that
Tight
choke,
to
it
the pattern.
matters like how wide or how tight the pattern is for like the bird shot or whatever you're using. Um, the 500, it's up there as far as Remington 870. Like those are like back to back as far as you have your Remington people and then you have your Mossberg people. So
Yeah.
those are the shotguns that the 12 gauge that people are gonna decide between
Okay.
most of the time.
See, I just have a 500 because it's the is when I could get my hands on the easiest, and I wanted to one that could go for home defense, combat, or hunt double as for hunting, because it looks like that's what I'm gonna have to use in hunting. Because getting a handgun right now for concealed carry and all that is a little bit more important to me than actual hunting.
Yeah, yeah. Originally, like my first gun, it was um the Smith and Wesson Bodyguard. It was a used one. I
Yeah.
I turned it back into the pawn shop, and then I got the shotgun. After that, I was without a gun for a while. I got the shotgun, and then I got my conceal, which is the Smith and Wesson SD40VE,
Oh,
which
the Sigma copy thing.
right, or that or like the Glock killer or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bodies, it's pretty much the same as the Glocks. Um, but it's a great gun. I did the trigger job to it, and like it's a lot better. I'm more precise now on my
I've heard
shooting.
those. The good thing, the redeeming quality of those things is that they're cheap. I mean, as inexpensive. They're like what, 300 or something
Dude,
like that.
dude, I hate it because I paid $400 for it. 400,
Wow.
and I've heard like the cheapest I've heard it was 280. Yeah,
You got ripped off.
yeah. So I'm like, oh man, I wish I could turn it in or get my money back or something. But no,
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah. See, I'm looking into getting the M&P 9C. Jarhead talked me out of the shield into that one.
Yeah,
The
he keeps talking about the 9C. Like I told him I'm gonna get the shield first because I've shot that one so many times. I love it. The 9C I haven't shot enough where hey, I'll go
yeah.
out and buy it.
See,
So
I actually went to a local gun store like last Friday, comparing. Okay, Glock 20. I asked the guy, could I see a Glock 26 and a Glock, or I mean an MP9C? Let me feel the two, compare them, see which one I like. I thought I was gonna change my mind from the M&P and go to the Glock, and I'd have to take down all those videos I have about, I'm not gonna get a Glock and all that stuff, big hypocrite call out and stuff like that. But I felt it. I'm like, man, this MP feels good. I mean, the trigger felt better. It just felt better in my hand and all that stuff. The only negative I could find about the MMP that the Glock had better was there's no technically not a slide release on it. It's just a slide stop lever, so you can't release the slide like that. You have to actually
right,
rack it.
yeah.
But and there's no 30 round mag for the M&P, so that's debatable. But I would love to stick that thing in there.
um, man, like I'm more of a Smith and Wesson guy than Glock. Like my dad's the opposite. My dad's more Glock than Smith and Wesson.
I have some Glock friends that are so adamant about Glocks.
So some
It
people
almost gets
swear
annoying.
that's the only gun like that you can buy, but
Yeah, I know. They might be watching now, but I mean, it just gets annoying because it's sort of like Glock perfection and all that stuff. But I'm like, yeah, it's a good gun, but any gun can jam if you give it bad ammo or you stuff dirt in the barrel, it's gonna jam.
you got to clean your gun. You got to be on top of that,
Yeah.
and,
Now I'm
and
a big fan of the Glock style weapons, the light polymer, basic, easy to operate, no frills, stuff like that. I'm a big fan of that. I'll take,
yep.
the classic Glock versus 1911 question. I'll take a Glock any day because it's simpler, easy to use, and different stuff like that. You know.
You can't hate on those 19. I love those 1911s, man. Like
Oh,
it's one of those things where like I won't use it to carry or anything, but it's one of those
I want one of them.
collection things, I want it in my gun collection.
I don't have it
So
now, but I will one day.
right.
Especially a
Yep.
Kimber. I would love a Kimber.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice,
Just
man.
looks in those things. Whenever I strike it rich and become a millionaire,
I hear you.
I love talking to friends like that. It's like I'm never gonna be rich. Don't even talk to me like you're gonna
Hey
be
man, you never know, man. You never know where you're gonna land in the
true.
future. So,
I
so.
mean, you could not, but yeah. I also have some pretty big 1911 friends. I actually the big hunting family are huge 1911 fans. Well, what got me was I was talking to one of them about hunting and stuff, and I said I was looking at getting either a Mossberg 500 or the Remington 870. Just looking at different ones. He said, the brand name's a brand name. It doesn't really matter as long as it works. So I agree. I said, yeah, I agree with you and all that. But not 5 or 10 minutes later into there, I brought up handguns. He said, now I want a Colt 1911. It has to be a Colt 1911. Oh, I mean, I'm the one driving, so I have to stop from pounding my head on the steering wheel like, did you not just hear yourself, dude?
Right, right, right,
It's
right.
just a brand name. Come
I,
on.
I'll tell you what. Have you shot the 870?
No, I haven't.
Okay, the 870. My friend has it, and I have it on one of the videos on my channel. He has the 870. I have the 835, and side by side, the 870. I always give people like like I always talk bad about 870
Uh huh.
just to like push people's buttons, but it's one of those guns where it'll last a long time. They're built well. They're heavy. That's the downside to it. Um, they're pretty heavy, and compared to the 835, the 835 like it's just comfortable in my
Huh.
hands. The 870 it just has that bead up in the front.
Yeah.
You don't have the back sight to like line it up, so you have to like really know your gun before you really take it out and use it. But you can modify all that stuff. But out of the box, like it's heavy, man.
Yeah. I hadn't shot at 870. The only shotguns I've shot was I shot a Mossberg turkey gun. I don't know what
the
exactly
the
that was.
835, the one that I have is a turkey.
It might have been the 835 because it had like a 28-inch barrel with the choke on it, would only allow three in the tube, and he had not a holographic, a fiber optic sight on the front of it. That's
Okay.
partially why I have the one on mine because I loved how that just stands out there and all that. But
Yep.
plus also mine came without a sight on it. That was the only bad thing about my shotgun when I bought it. I mean, I was in a gun show. I was looking at this guy's rack or this guy's table, and I asked him to look at the shotgun, so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, there's a hole in the barrel. Isn't there supposed to something be there? But I thought, I've seen replacement sights. That's not too big of a deal. Maybe $50 fix. I got it for 250. I can't complain. So, uh,
Nice.
yeah, sure enough, I just ordered one of those fiber optic sights off of Amazon, strapped it on there, and it worked. It slides around a little bit on the barrel, back and forth a little, but it's nothing big. You know, I'm not going to be Hickok and shoot 300 yards with a slug.
Right, right, right. But you never know when you're gonna have to do that.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But no, like seriously, like those guns, like they're good up to like 50 yards, pretty much. Uh, After that, you start going down. The Mossberg, that's one thing. Like it had like really good reviews. The 835.
Uh-huh.
When I was at Walmart, and this is a good thing about technology, like which I kind of hate all this internet stuff. Like seriously, I'll be fine. Hey, just throw me in the woods and like I'll be fine.
True. Yeah.
But like I was at Walmart and I was like reviewing, like checking it out online, and like it had like really good reviews, and I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I walked out with it, so I'm good
Yeah.
now.
That's one thing that impressed me about the Shield when I was looking at it is that out of the like dozen reviews I've seen, only one person didn't like it, and even the reason he didn't like it was sort of questionable.
Dude,
So
most likely that's somebody from like Remington or something, like somebody else, like their competitors or
no, it
something.
was it was actually the Yankee Marshal and his issue
Oh,
with this.
oh, 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 okay.
So that's the only person I've seen.
Man, yeah, I don't want to get into that topic about him, but
some of the stuff about Gunn, I sort of like him because he is a different thinker. He thinks how he thinks. So that's sort of admirable. I don't quite like his style of humor sometimes, but when he just talks about guns, I like his idea. I like his ideas and the way he looks at guns, especially when about his concealed carry stuff. That's sort of good, but you know,
At the end of the day, like, hey, he supports, the whole gun community. I respect that, but he has like a lot of liberal views that I don't agree with. So
yeah, politically you sort of have to. You find like I find like I half agree with him, I half don't.
yeah,
It's sort of one of those things like I wish I could agree with you, but yeah. So that's why you watch multiple channels because one
yep,
guy could be leading you one way and different stuff like that. But
yeah, and that's my thing. Like I'm not gonna get on his channel and just like talk bad about him or anything. I'll just stay away, just
yeah,
keep it to myself. But hey, that's me.
yeah. But I mean, I say my big thing when I said on a video or two of mine, a shotgun's a shotgun. Everybody gets so picky. If I could have gotten a Remington 870 that was in good shape for $100, I would be having a Remington 870 now. You know,
You see, the biggest thing like about different shotguns. Okay, there's a lot to it, like stock and all that stuff, but it comes down to like the barrel, the trigger. That you got to look for quality in that. But like again, like my first shotgun, my first rifle, my first handgun, I'm buying those only because that's what I can afford. In the future, I'm gonna have more of a knowledge of like, okay, this is exactly what I want on my next handgun. This is exactly what I want on my next rifle because I already know from like my budget guns
exactly.
of
Yeah.
what I want and where I'm at. And
Anything but a high point is doing good, right?
yeah. So next time I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. I'm not gonna do one of these impulsive buys kind of thing, and wait for it, wait for the right time, and like put the money in.
Yeah.
So
See, that's my big the I should have a better 22 rifle than I do because I mean that was one of those. It's one of those deals where like, hey, I want one. I'm going to this gun show. I'm going to walk out of this gun show with a 22, and I had like 150 to work with. With 200 total for wiggle room and all that.
yep,
So I
yep.
just went to a few different stands. I had no idea what to look for in a gun. I didn't know how to check the barrel or anything like that. So I just walked up to different people. I'm like, okay, what options do you have for this price range and different stuff? Well, one guy tried ripping me. First table I went to, he tried ripping me off. He was offering me a Stevens bolt action rifle for 200 bucks. I wanted to tell him like,
Stevens.
yeah, a Stevens 22. I wanted to tell him, I know my stuff, dude. This thing retails at like what, 160?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
next
Like,
table, next table. I'm not even talking to you.
those are some scam artists, man. Like some people there, like kind of like sketchy. Where I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, I know.
There was this one guy, one of the gun shows that we went to. The guy was like some whack job, man. Like, he was some crazy wacko. Um, he sells bulletproof vests and like
Okay.
chest rigs and all that stuff. So I'm talking to him and he's like, dude, you want to see a video? I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He's like, oh, I got a video of like me shooting myself with the vest on. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. He's like, oh, but I can't put it up on the screen. You just gotta see it on my phone. I'm like, okay. So we started talking this and that. He showed me the video. I'm like, this guy's kind of crazy. So it turns out like the guy's in like I think he lives in Tallahassee, really north from where I'm
Uh-huh.
at. And he's like, because I told him what my background with the video and all that stuff, and he's like, dude, I want to do like a commercial for the company. I'm like, all right. So I get back to him like a week later. I'm like, look, I have this whole idea. We have like like undercover people coming in, this and that. It's gonna be like this shot. We're gonna do a car. We're gonna do like the camera fly in kind of thing. And he's like, oh, this is awesome, great. And we were gonna barter. He was gonna send me like some like I think like uh two vests with plates and like a chest rig and all that stuff. And like that would have been fine for me because that puts up my demo reel and I'll just get more business out of that.
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the guy just disappears. Like, I can't call him. I can't contact him. Like, I don't know what happened to the guy.
Wow.
I went to like the last few gun shows, and like his booth is not there. So I don't know what happened to that guy. But I'm
Yeah.
not surprised if something bad happened.
I mean, maybe
Weird people, man.
he was one of those people from the A team that actually existed and they finally found him or something. They
Right.
got Murdoch, you know. I'm too young to know this stuff, aren't I?
Right, right.
But yeah, the when I got my 22, I walked up to one table and I asked the guy, you know, what do you have for $50? He showed me it was a Rock River Arms 22. That thing was heavy, and I asked him to shoulder it. He's like, sure, go ahead and shoulder it. I shouldered it, and it was one of those V-Knock sights with a little hairpin thing on the front. I
Yeah,
could
yep.
not find that front sight in there. I was trying to look at everywhere without flagging somebody, of course. But I tried to look down that. I'm like, I can't see that. I'm like, okay, let me. I told the guy, I'm gonna look around to see what I can find and come back. You know. So the next table I go to, I find that 597 that I have now. He showed it to me. He's like, okay, I can give you this for 150. I looked down the sights, you know, that it has those it's not quite three dot white side 3 dot sights, but you know the front dot side is white, and that stood out to me. I'm like, okay, I like this thing. I'm gonna get it. And I asked him about magazines, and you know it takes 30 round mags that are only half reliable depending on the ammo you put in there. That's a different story.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I got it. You know, bought it, filled out that 44 whatever form. Um, Got it. And we shot that day with my redneck friends because they have a huge stockpile of 22 because their grandpa on one side was a competitive shooter, so he
Oh
just had
wow.
tons of it. So I'm shooting it, and
Nice.
the guy sold me the rifle dirty. It would not work. It wouldn't shoot more than like 3 rounds without you know failure to feed. It wouldn't eject.
Did,
It wouldn't hold open, and just
wow.
different stuff like that. Go figure. I actually take it home, learn how I take it apart, you know, clean it as best as I could. Took it to their house, my range. Put the actual put more ammo in it, and it didn't run perfect, but it ran a whole lot better. And go figure, get some different mags and find it. And I found that my rifle is picky about the ammo. It doesn't like Federal ammo. It doesn't like
Yeah.
Fiocchi or Wolf. It loves Remington. So I mean, you know, go figure. I should have tried saving up and getting a Ruger 1022. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
should have gotten
um,
22. 10.
yeah. That whole thing about the ammo, man. Like you have to test different ammos, and like whatever you carry, like for your CCW, it's you have to shoot that and like actually know that it's gonna work and like be there for you whenever you need it. And like that's the thing between different companies. They have like cheaper brass. Like tool ammo, like that's the cheapest. And the only time I bought that was because this whole thing, like when ammo was like low everywhere, like
Yeah.
Walmart was only having like tool ammo on the shelves. So I bought 2 boxes, and like those were the first 2 boxes. Every time I went to the range, I was like, shoot those first. I want
Yeah,
to get rid
get
of
him out.
those. Yeah, because like I got online, and like a whole bunch of people were just like complaining about the ammo, like getting jammed, wasn't ejecting, like it was just bad stuff and just dirtying the gun inside. But with my gun, I never had an issue with them. A
Yeah.
lot of Glocks had issues with the tool ammo in
Huh.
40 cal.
Oh, and 40. Because
Yeah.
see, I've heard, I've seen a few videos, and the way Tula ammo is made, especially the 9 millimeter, is they took the Glock 19 chamber and actually made a mold the inside of the chamber with it locked into battery and everything. So if you have a Glock 19, that ammo is literally made for that gun.
That's funny
So
because like like most of the bad reviews were from like Glock owners, unless it was
wow,
like outside of the 19. I don't know.
maybe.
That
That
sounds
is,
weird.
yeah. So I've been looking at TN9 outdoors. Look, I mean, I just said on his playlist of 9 millimeter ammo reviews. I just listened to that while I'm doing other stuff to fill in my mind. Okay, this is good. The guard dog, 50/50. That rep ammo, different stuff. Trying to find out what's good.
Yeah, it comes down to like when you actually have your handgun, like shoot it through your handgun and like shoot it. I'm saying like put like 1,000 rounds through it, and
Huh.
like which 1,000 sounds like a lot, but like seriously, like if you're going out of the range, man, like every week or every other week,
Yeah.
It goes by quick.
Well, I even found that out with my 22, especially with the 30 round mag. 50 rounds comes in a box. That seems like enough, right? No, no, you need way more than 50,
Never enough, man.
especially when you're trigger happy like me and on the range. That 30 round mag semi-automatic gets to my head. It is, you know, I finally, this was awesome at that store when a gun store, when I looked at those compared to handguns. I asked the guy, because I don't want to go into a shop and have him ask him about different stuff and not buy anything. I only had like $10 to spend, so I asked him about 20 if he had any 22, and sure enough, there was some blazer ammo on there on the shelf
Yep.
that my gun. I found out that's another thing my rifle likes to work with, so I got some of
Blazer.
that. Yeah, the 22 blazer,
Yep.
and I told him about my rifle is picky about it, but it loves the Remington ammo, even the subsonic. It runs the subsonic through there like it's butter, and no malfunctions, nothing. But he said, I told him, I love that Thunderbolt ammo, and I always see you folks post up the when you get those bulk packages and are ready to sell. I mean, one time I saw the post, I'm like, okay, I'm going there and buying the ammo. I show up at like 10 o'clock and they're all gone. All the bulk package is gone. I'm like, so I told him about that. He said, wait, hold on a minute. Went back and pulled out a bulk package. He told me that it's they just buy it as they can get it and stock it up, so they could post on there and sell a bunch in one day. So he worked a deal with me where he held on to it till I got paid yesterday. Went in there and got the package. I'm like, you don't know how thankful I am, dude.
Sweet. Sweet. Yeah, dude. I haven't seen a bulk like anything in. It's been a few years, man. I haven't seen like anything in Walmart and in Bass Pro. Like I haven't seen any bulk of anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It,
weird.
I've, it's funny because I've only seen 22. For a little bit, 9 millimeter was really hard to find. I remember, but especially 22. It's like because I talked with one guy at Walmart about this when I was looking at ammo. He was we just got started talking. I'm like, why in the world is 22 so hard to find? Because it's like a toy round. I mean, you're not gonna put it. You're not gonna take it to battle unless it's the only thing you have. So why everybody's doing it? But that's just the way things are going.
The 22 is cheaper to shoot. A lot of people are buying, or a lot of people that I know are buying the like the Mossberg and the Smith and Wesson AR version
Yes.
of like the 22 and shooting that and pretty much training with that. And once again, it's just cheaper ammo. So that's why everybody's going after that, and that's flying off the stores because like
Yeah.
you can just shoot like crazy and spend like $7.
Exactly. That's part of the reason why that was my first gun I ever bought was the 22. Exactly that. I'm a college kid. I want something cheap to shoot. And
Dude,
it's okay. So it's all right.
it's all shot placement, man. Because you can bring down somebody with it. If somebody's like like breaking inside your home or whatever, it's been on the news and everything. Like a little girl saved herself because she knew how to shoot her 22. Somebody broke in, she pulled out the 22, like just one shot, she hit one guy, everybody else left running.
Yeah.
So it's like that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing. Like a bunch of people, I wouldn't even take a 22. Unless if I didn't have any other choice, I would do it. But I wouldn't consciously bring a 22 because it's underpowered and stuff. But um,
Right, if
if
that's
it's
the
the
only
only thing
thing
you
you have.
have, a 22 rifle is almost the perfect thing because you could put a lot of rounds in like a really small area. I mean, granted, one round might not be enough, but you could put five holes in the size of maybe a 45 caliber round, and that would do the job.
Yeah, like yeah, the 22s that's mainly for small game. But hey, man, you put it through somebody's head, somebody's heart, like they're going
No,
down.
well, yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think criminals are smarter than they are. Like, they think, okay, they're gonna know I have a 22. No, they don't. All I see is a barrel pointed at their face, and they want to get out away from that barrel. I'm
Dude,
not. I,
if criminals were smart, they would not be criminals. So
yeah, you have a good
'cause
point.
you don't know where you're going. Like these people are jumping in people's homes and like you never know who's behind that door. Like that's ready for war, man. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, now I have my 12 gauge, and that's my home defense for right now. Because I
Yep.
mean, I just love the power behind it and
Yep.
all. But
Yeah, dude, that's one of those things where like you put like double O buckshot or whatever, and like it's late at night and like everything's dark, but you see something, you can just shoot it in that direction. You're gonna hit it.
yeah,
Versus like a 9 millimeter or 40 cal, whatever, you might miss, because you can't see your sights late at night.
yeah. See, I know you're not talking about this, but a lot of people think the shotgun myth of just point it somewhere, pull the trigger, and you're gonna hit it. That's not the case. But
Yeah, there's
um,
more to it.
yeah, you do have
And
to genuinely aim, but there is a whole lot more of forgiveness in a shotgun. Like I did a range review of the different ammos, and most of them the spread is about the size of your fist. Now the Winchester PDX ammo actually spread out a little bit further than that. From I was at 8 or 10 yards, but like the buckshot was in the size of your fist, but the Winchester was a little bit bigger. So you're not getting well the bird shot spread out, good 3 feet wide, but the bird shot is a good option, but
it's all distance. I saw that video with Jarhead and the firearm guy. Um, dude, like the firearm guy says, you can't bring down somebody with birdshot, but like it's all a matter of distance. At 50 yards, it might not penetrate through the skin, but like it'll probably penetrate. But if you're like what 50 feet or like 20 feet away, it's gonna hurt somebody, man.
or 2 feet away.
And
It's
remember, I'm not gonna be just shooting one round. I'm gonna be
yeah,
shooting a few rounds and unloading that magazine, man. So
yeah, exactly.
a
But
lot of them got damage.
I mean, if I didn't have any other ammo, or if I was just shooting that day and I left birdshot in my shotgun, I'd still pull the trigger. I wouldn't take the time to reload. It'll definitely do the job, but you know that after shooting that Winchester PDX ammo and seeing how good of a job it does on cardboard, I'm not really considering putting anything else in it at home because I am not shooting a slug inside my house.
Dude, and that's the other thing. You got to be crazy. Like, first of all, shoot a shotgun in the house. You got to use it. You got to be fearing for your life because that's going to be a loud bang, and you're not going to have your ears on, like when you go shoot inside
Exactly.
your house. So, in my shotgun, I have birdshot in the magazine, and I have double O buckshot on my sleeve on the stock.
Oh
So just
yeah.
in case, like I got to reload or whatever, it's gonna come harder, man.
Yeah, see, I have a video too on this, but on mine I have one of the side saddle and the stock sleeve things,
Yep, yep.
and on the sleeve I have slugs in that 5 slugs in that, and on the side saddle I have 6 buckshot.
6.
So
Cool.
6. I got the 6 because it holds 5 in the tube and 1 in the chamber, so could have a full load of buck.
Yep, 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 yep.
So you know.
Yeah, I still have to get my side saddle, man. I've been wanting to get that, but I can't find the what is it, the camo one? Oh man,
Mossy Oak or
is it the Mossy break? Is the breakup? I
I
forgot which one.
I have no idea. Like
I think I
I
think it's
would
the
pref
Mossy Oak. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the Mossy Oak breakup. Is what it's called.
okay. But that's gonna cost some good money too, like 90 or above, isn't it?
It's I think I saw it for like it's just under $100. Um, but I keep trying to wait for like a good deal or somewhere.
Oh yeah,
That's too much money to spend, man.
flea
So
market. Yeah, like if I could have my ideal like combat shotgun, like I had it planned out. I was gonna get a Mossberg 500. Now I know I'd probably get a Mossberg 590 or a 500A, whatever.
right.
But I'd have that ATI Halo side saddle, heat shield. They had that certain Magpul stock on it, but that puppy would be like close to 500 or 600, maybe even closer to $800. I'm a college kid. I'm lucky to have the 500, 250 shotgun I
Dude,
do have.
that stuff adds up, man. Like just like my AR, like I originally was gonna buy the Smith and Wesson M&P Sport.
Yeah.
Um, but there's things I was like, I was gonna get this. I was gonna get the M&P Sport and start later on buying the rail because they didn't come with the Picatinny rail. It came with that other one, the just the cover.
Yeah.
It had the sights already. They were fixed sights. Um, and then I saw the Mossberg AR, which is the MMR, what they call the modern rifle, but it's AR style, and it was a little bit cheaper, and it already came with the Picatinny rails. So I'm like, I'm gonna get this because it's where I want to be with with the Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
And the Smith and Wesson didn't have a dust cover. The Mossberg had a dust cover, so I'm like, that's it. I'm getting the
Yeah.
Mossberg.
See, I've been looking at ARs also. After I get my handgun, that's one thing I'm going to be working towards because that's that's part of the essentials you need to have to be fully armed. You need a handgun, you need a close range long gun, shotgun or some machine or whatever, and then you need a infantry rifle, like an AR or something.
Yep,
So
yep.
I've been looking into that. I've been trying to figure out, whether I want to try building it or just flat out buying it. But
Dude, originally I was gonna build it, and I had like other channels that I was doing work for. They sent me parts, and I was gonna go down that route, but then like it came down to it, where I'm like another impulsive buy, which I don't have patience to wait. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it right now. So I ended up buying it. I still don't have the sites. I have two channels. One channel is gonna send me the red dot site, and then the other channel is gonna send me flip up sites. So
that's
that'll be cool.
nice. Have you
Yeah.
thought about those 45-degree cant sights? Trying those out or not?
They look cool, but no, I've never used one at
All
all.
right. My thing is, how different is or odd is it to turn the rifle cockeyed to shoot? Doesn't that mess up your form
I
line?
don't like it. Because I'm used to shooting this way,
Yeah.
just versus sideways. That I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't like it, and that's to me that's one of like those somebody came up with some logic to use it now,
Yeah.
but no, I
I
can't.
mean, there are some that from the studies I've done. I have no practical experience in it, but like from the videos I've seen of it and the study I've seen, it does sort of make sense because it's a quicker transition as opposed to popping up those backup sites or just going through that A2 fixed site. I don't like that fixed site thing, but it can't does make for a quicker transition. But the big thing is you're holding the rifle wrong virtually. So I'm trying to figure out, does that mess up your accuracy or all that stuff? But
Yeah, at the end of the day, the way I see it was like I always say, what does the army use? The army's not using that.
true,
So,
you have
and
a
those
good
are the
point.
guys that are really fighting wars.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And
just like those people that say the 5.56 is an underpowered round, then why is it a NATO round? The whole world is using the 5.56. Why are they using an underpowered round? That thing just.
dude, hey, you can build a a rifle and just shoot 30-06, but that's gonna have a crazy amount of kick to it.
Exactly.
Just hey, the 5.56, just put a whole bunch of rounds through it, and like you'll bring down whatever you're trying to bring down.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my thing, a lot of people are like, well, I wouldn't go below a 44 Magnum in a handgun or a 45 in uh, a semi-auto. I actually heard one guy say this. I just turned to him and asked him, "Are we trying to defend ourselves from elephants or people?" Because I mean, my main reason
you
for
never know.
choosing 9mm is number one, cost. It's a lot cheaper, but I think I could handle the 9mm better than that 45. And if I can't put the rounds where I want to as good as I can, or if if power's was more important to me, I would go 45 or something like that. But I want to put shots where I want to put them, not have them fly off wherever, because the recoil takes me by surprise.
And dude, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, you say the 45, like it has a kick to it as far as like handguns go,
Uh-huh.
but it's all training, man. I don't have like like any. I wasn't in the service. I wasn't like in law enforcement or anything, but just common sense, man. Just training, training, training.
Yeah,
I try to go like once or twice a month out to the range. Um, and it's you got to know your gun. You got to know your
yeah.
gun like in and out, and train, 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 like crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I told myself, I told myself and some friends, especially when I got my 22, like, oh, I'm going to be shooting every other week, no problem. That hasn't happened. I go shooting every other month or so because, I don't like I don't like indoor ranges. I haven't never been, but just I don't like the idea of them. I've heard some.
Dude, like I'll go to both. And then the only reason why I go to the indoor one is because there's bad weather outside. So, but I love my outdoors, man. Like, and the outdoor that I go to, if you go during the week, there's like nobody there. So
Yeah,
I practice more on my accuracy because they let you at this gun range. A lot of gun ranges don't let you do this, but I can stand like 3 feet away from it, shoot, and then I can start taking back like 2 feet and keep going back
huh?
another 2 feet into another feet. And that right there kind of tells you where you're going wrong right away.
Yeah,
Like, versus like standing back all the way, and you kind of think it's your finger that's pulling the gun in, but it could be the trigger itself. Um, so that helps also.
hmm.
A range that's open to that.
I have some friends who have a good chunk of property and allow me to shoot there, so that's really the way I go, so I don't have to pay for it.
Man,
You know.
I wish we had that here, like where I could just jump in the backyard, but not yet.
Yeah. Ideally, if I ever, bought a house where I would stake out for, my life or whatever, I would make sure I had a sufficient room and space to shoot on my own property,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man.
But, I'm probably gonna be moving around before I actually settle in, so that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah,
The,
it's on my wish list.
yeah, the, but yeah,
Dude,
although
have you ever thought about or have you ever like bow hunted or anything?
I am going to hopefully, like, when I get my hunting license and stuff, that's what I'm gonna try to start out because bow season comes before everything else. Like hey, my name's Archer. Of course I use bows, but that
But
but
you don't own a bow yet, or you do?
I have a PVC bow that I made.
Okay. Oh,
It sounds like a toy, but it's a
hey
good
man,
pound draw.
dude, I always say, man, like this started somewhere, and like I'm sure you like using that PVC was better than whatever they had
Yeah,
back then,
because I have yeah. I mean, even I started out with some sort of toy bow that my mom and dad bought all of us from I forget where it was. Like it was Academy or a place like that. $20. No, it was like a $10 package, like 40 pound draw stick bows that could be either recurve or longbow depending on which side of the bow you put the string on.
That's
With
awesome.
like three plastic arrows. I mean, for four boys, you got four boys to buy for, so you got to go cheap. But I used that for the longest time, and whenever we live in woods and I near around some woods, and we keep losing arrows. When it bounces off the top of the
Yep.
target or different, or you accidentally shoot into a brick wall or something like that. I have to keep buying arrows, but I saw somebody do a PVC bow. I'm like, that looks like it actually does something. So I'm like, okay, from like I think it was like it was the night. I think it was my 19th birthday. I'm like, I'm going to no, yeah, 19th. I'm like, I'm going to make a PVC bow. So I got this guy's instructions, bought all the equipment. I had a guy cut out because you actually take a smaller PVC pipe, cut like a 3/8 inch strip out of the length of it, and stuff the one tube inside of the other, and then cut the notches on the top, put the string on it. It actually does. It actually. I gave it to my redneck friend who actually hunts, and he was relatively impressed with it.
Did,
Like,
did, did did you put it up on your channel?
yeah, I haven't put it exactly, but if you watch any archery movie or video I have, I'm shooting that bow.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
want to
mean,
see it. I love making things, man. Like whenever I
yeah,
can, like I'm in the backyard, like doing something, building something.
I
So,
I don't. I need to make a I need to actually make another one and do a video of me making it. But it's not really that hard. And if you probably already have the tools to make it, so it's not going to be that hard for you. You
yep.
just gotta find a bow, a synthetic string that's long enough. But
Nice,
like
nice.
you can see, some people have whole channels dedicated to um, making like recurve PVC bows or different stuff. But the problem with that is you have to have a heat element to it and stuff like that. And I don't trust myself around some kind of heat element where I could burn myself. I actually, funny story about that. I for the camp I went to, church camp I helped at, we were having a military theme, and I was on the Navy, so I'm like, okay, I bought a bony hat, so I want to look military, I want to turn myself into the mascot for our team. So I'm like, it's just a navy blue hat, no Navy logo on it. I'm gonna try making an anchor. So I asked the metals guy what if he can make it out of metals. He said, "Well, let's just get a scrap piece of aluminum and cut it out." So I asked him, "Okay, I don't want you doing everything for me. Show me what to do. Show me how to do it, and then I'll try taking it from there." He hands me a torch. I'm like, do
You
you know
cut
what
it?
you're doing, dude? Yeah, to actually cut it out of the metal, like the aluminum. It was one of the funnest things I did, but I'll tell you what, I messed up on there, and I accidentally held it in a place for too long and put too much heat in the same area, and sparks flew everywhere. It's just like a pang in my face. I'm like, I think I did something wrong there, but it
Yep.
turned out really nice. Like we let it cool down, and the next day punched it out. It had a rough it looked like an anchor, but it had this sort of rough edge to it, like it had been sitting at the bottom of the sea for a long time. I'm like, I'm just gonna live like that and strap it to my hat. So I trust myself with some heating elements, but when I could set a PVC pipe on fire or melt it onto my foot, yeah, I don't. So
Dude,
I just stuck with the
if you
longbow
still,
form.
yeah, if you still have that anchor, like you can just sand it down, like just like make it smooth. So, just an
Yeah.
idea.
Well, actually I just left it as it is because maybe I'll put it up on my channel sometime. But it looks really cool as it is. Like it has that sort of like metallic dull blue to it that and with the
Yeah, actually, dude,
melted
I had
edges on.
a channel. The guy owns like an AC company.
Uh-huh.
They just got this machine to cut out aluminum and stuff. And one of the first things he did was he cut out the Browning logo.
Uh-huh.
And like I just comment on his video. I'm like, oh dude, that was awesome. He's like, all right, send me your address. I'm like, what? He's like, you won. I'm like, okay. so,
That's
so
awesome.
I still have it here. I'm still waiting like to get some time to like sand it down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'll be cool. He gave me both parts, like the circle
Uh-huh.
and the cutout, like the both pieces.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So
That's awesome. But yeah, I love I love archery, and I always do traditional archery, just a stick bow and all that stuff. I got to plug my laptop in, so um I love the traditional form of archery and all that stuff. So I'm not into the compound where you have the wheels and the sights and all that stuff on there. I just want me and the bow. Granted, it's going to be harder for hunting, but I
yep.
just I love that pure basic form of it with no
Yeah, I was gonna
frills.
say, hey, that's what they had back then, man.
Oh yeah,
So
that's how
they
we
didn't
started
have
out
the
doing it. And
they didn't have the compound.
hey, if it worked for the Persian army, it'll work for me.
Right there you
Yeah,
go.
but I prefer recurves because it has a better arrow speed to it. But you work with what you have.
Hey, that's life, man.
Yeah,
That's what you gotta do.
yeah, and it works. It works great. But yeah, I have to invest in trying to get a better quiver, getting some arrows, some broadheads, different stuff like that for when I actually hunt. Now, one thing, actually, this whole cue card's going out the door right now. Um,
Sorry.
seriously, I have like 8 questions, but then you said you only hog hunt. I'm talking about deer hunting, and you're just like, "Oh, not that much experience." I'm like, oh, forget that card. I'm going off my head. But what?
So, dude, that's the way I do things. I do things very like no planning kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that
like
worked for me.
I should be good at ad libbing and different stuff like that, but I found with like preaching or doing papers, I'm better when I have an outline and you run by a certain form and have like a sketch I run through.
Right. Right.
But yeah, the stuff like this you just have to wing it because plan go out the door, do what comes to your head. But in hunting, do you have to have like head to toe camo, or with just like a
For hog, like you just got to be really quiet, I guess. Um, I wear it because like I love camo.
Uh-huh.
Like I always got some kind of camo on me, like every day. Um, but dude, there's people that go out there in shorts and like a regular T-shirt and hog hunt.
Hmm.
So yeah, like it doesn't matter with hogs at least. For deer, I know deer are like really like they're looking out. They're
Skittish.
really paranoid. So I know that matters for deer.
Yeah. Huh. So, because that's going to be another, 60, $100 just trying to
Yeah,
get
man,
the
that
camo
stuff
get
is
up.
not cheap. And like you start. I don't know if you've looked into that, but like the more money you spend, like the better quality stuff looks.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I mean, even I went to a gander mountain that opened up like 15 minutes from where I work. And I was impressed with it, but $40 for the pants, another like $30 just for the t-shirt. I didn't look at the long sleeve stuff, just the t-shirt, you know,
Yep.
for $40 for that, and I'm just like, oh. And looking on Amazon isn't any better, because any stuff that's cheap is made in China is going to take 3 years to get
Yeah,
there.
that's something that I don't buy off of Amazon. First, of all, I don't trust eBay. Amazon, I don't like buying electronics or like clothes over it because, dude, you can order a large, but the large is for like for Asians that like they have like
Oh, it's true.
smaller bodies or something, you know. So
Yeah, I bought
it's not really like a real large.
I've bought some shirts. I might be doing a video on some of those, but they're like the wife beater style Under Armour shirts. I tried those out, and I actually looked up the sizing. Like, how do they size this so I know which size to get?
Right.
So I, luckily, I got the right size of those. But
Yeah, all
yeah.
my camel stuff I bought at Bass Pro Shop, and it's
All
been
right.
great. And that's one thing I'm really picky with, like the material and all that stuff. Um, and the last long sleeves that I bought, they were probably like $45 each.
Yeah. See, like as much of a tightwad as I am in certain areas where I'm picky. I have to have some things like for pens. I have to have Sharpie pens because I like how they write, and they write on everything but water. So
Yep,
when in picky areas like that, I don't, at my job, I don't make somebody pay for it. I just go and buy it.
yep, yep,
As
yep.
in, same general thing. If I have a specific preference in like a knife or handgun or whatever, I'm gonna suck it up and pay the money for it. You know, don't be a tightwad with quality and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, talking about knives. I love my buck knives, man. Dude,
See,
I still have to put like a video out of like the knives that I have.
huh?
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah. Do you have like a specific like a skinning knife, or what do you take hunting with you, or take with you
Um,
on hunting?
the one that I have is the buck knife. It's not labeled as a skinning knife, but that's what I use as a skinning knife.
Okay.
Which it has like this curved shape. Like it's nice.
Okay.
I'll probably be putting that video up soon, I guess, because I've been wanting to do it for a while. And some people have been asking me. Um,
Soonish, right?
right. Like soon as we like here in 2 months. No,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I should be calming down at work in about in the second week of August. I should be good from here on out for the rest of the year. So
Huh.
yeah, we've been doing a lot of traveling with the army. Um, I can't get into too much details of what we
Oh,
do.
military, yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing a lot of meetings for them. So I've been in and out of the house, just traveling up and
That's
down.
cool.
Yeah. So, but
Most
yeah.
traveling I've been doing is back and forth to work in a different part of Georgia for the camp. I haven't been doing much traveling at all.
Hey man, something. At least you have something, so
Yeah.
can't complain. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I'm not the type where I can sit down at a desk all day and just do paperwork. I can't. I have to be doing something, building something.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with the job that we're at. Another thing I do is digital signage and exhibits.
Uh-huh.
So we maintain a few visitor centers where people can come in and like test like or not test like actually see how this works. I'm trying to like not get into details
Yeah,
of like exactly what do we do, but I'm in charge of like the pneumatics, the compressors, the electricity work of like when somebody presses this button,
this
this
goes
thing
off.
is supposed to be
Huh.
doing this. So I go once a month and like make sure everything's working the way it should be. And if it's not working, I gotta fix it on the spot.
That's nice.
And what's awesome is like I didn't go to school for this. This is just because when I was little, I was always taking things apart. So
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about guns that I like is you sort of have to take them apart and know how they work to clean them, and so if
and,
something goes wrong with it, you know how to fix it.
and that's why building an AR in a way like it should not be a big deal to like real gun owners because
Yeah,
some people see it and say, oh, there's a whole bunch of pieces, but you have to clean that. So
yeah,
you got to know how to take it apart and put it back together.
yeah. Well, my thing about building is uh, I don't have tools or the know-how to, put the gas block together, put the barrel nut on, and all that stuff. I'd have to ask somebody. Now, as far as putting the lower to the upper and different stuff, I could figure that out. But as far as putting the small
Top
little
10.
parts in, I'd want to ask somebody to do that for me, and watch them do it. But
There's a lot of people out there that they have the special tools for the ARs,
mhm,
but if you have regular tools, you can make it happen. Also, you
really,
don't need that special tool.
oh, okay,
A lot of people have built ARs without that special tool.
yeah. Hmm.
So
But it's staying, I this the NFA treaty thing, I'm starting to really get irritated with it because last year I actually could have gotten a really nice Mossberg shotgun. It now it had a pistol grip on it, and I was going to change that up to stock because I don't want a pistol grip shotgun.
yeah, I
But it
don't
had
like
the
that either.
8-inch tube. It had the heat shield on it. It had some pretty good sights. It was like for 289 or something like that. I had the money. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll buy this. Well, the guy asked for my concealed carry license, and I just told him I don't have it yet. He's like, "What do you mean you don't have it yet?" I said, I don't, I'm only 20." He's like, "Oh, you can't buy it." What do you mean? It's a shotgun. He's like, since it has a pistol grip on there, it's classified as the class 3 weapon, and you
Yeah,
can't buy it yet. I'm like, you're kidding me. Well, earlier this month, Palmetto State Armory was running a special for a $50 stripped lower, free shipping. I'm like, oh, this is great. I got to jump on that. So I got one gun shop near me to send it to. It's like 5 minutes from where I work. I start filling the form out, and I keep seeing stuff about we are not liable for you breaking the law. I'm like, what are they talking about? So I started looking it up. I can't buy a lower, same reason. It's any other weapon, and I'm not 21. I'm like, come on, people.
yeah. Under 21, it's I think what it's 18 to like buy ammo. I think or shotgun ammo.
Yeah,
I
for
think or 16. You can buy shotgun ammo at 16 or something like that.
something like
But
yeah, that
at 21, you can buy like 9 millimeter and 40 cal and all that stuff, which is I don't know, man. That's kind of
yeah,
ridiculous to
that's
me.
that's what I'm trying to figure out because I mean, what do you do if I what would I do if I had like a what is it, the High Point 995, the pistol caliber carbine? What do I do with that? Get my pay my dad to do it, then I'm straw purchasing. What do I do, people?
But the people that make these laws are the people that are not involved in this community.
Yeah,
So they that's what's wrong with the world, man.
yeah, or at least our part of the world.
Right.
Like, I'm almost wanting to try pushing the NRA or these National Association of Gun Rights, these different people to repeal the NFA. When it was written back in the early 1900s, I could see where it was necessary because we had just discovered full auto. It was sort of hold a second. All right, the commercial break there. Um, Military, but so when the only fully auto stuff out there was the Tommy gun, the BAR, and different stuff. So I could see how to most of us we would have been a danger to ourselves. But it's getting extremely restrictive now. Like the short barrel rifle, what's up with that? And most people that get suppressors are not going to be assassins. They're just people who don't want to have to wear ear protection on their property. You know, so
Yeah, and that's yeah.
that's a big long
Yeah, we
spill.
do. We could spend like 2 hours on that stuff, man. Like
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of that stuff. At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It just doesn't make sense.
yeah, like
And
I wish even bring it down to smaller level for handguns. I wish there was some way you could get your concealed carry license early. Now Georgia has started something like that. Like if you are active duty military, you can have a handgun if you're 18. You can have a concealed carry license if you're in the military like that. So we are working towards that, but just like our driver's license under the Joshua law, I'm not sure if you have that in your state, but
no,
yeah, in Georgia, you can get your license at what is it, 16 instead of 18 or something like that. If you take the drug course, if you take a driver's ed course, and you pass the test, you can get it 2 years early. I think it is instead of 18, you can get it at 16, something like that.
that's for license. That's to carry, right?
No, that's for driver's license.
Oh, you say. Oh, you're saying. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
You're talking about
but the
conceal. I was
military
like,
thing,
wow.
yeah, the military thing. If you're 18 or if you're 18 to 21 and you're active duty military, you are allowed to have a concealed carry license in Georgia. But if drivers on the driver's license side, you can have a driver's license at 16. You can get it 2 years early at 16 if you do these things. And I did the things. They weren't that hard. They weren't that hard. They were boring, but it wasn't that hard.
From when I was going to high school, the only reason why a 16-year-old could have a driver's license was because there was issues at home where nobody else can drive at home. Like your
Uh,
parents can't drive, or nobody was able to drive to pick you up, or something like that. That was the only, I guess, like loophole in it where
huh.
you can get a driver's license at 16. I don't know if they've changed that, but that was
Yeah.
it. Like other than that, it was you have to wait till you're 18
Hmm.
to get behind the wheel.
It might just be Georgia because I learned to drive in Georgia and not Virginia. But, I've lived in 3 different states, so I get mixed up which laws are where. So I mean, in some ways, I wish I was in Arizona. Arizona. I spent 3 years in Arizona when I was like 7 and different stuff. I almost wish I was in Arizona now. Really lenient gun laws. They have constitutional carry for Pete's sake. I wish we had that.
Dude, that's one thing in Arizona. They're like if a company says no guns, the state is all pro gun, so you can take a gun in that store.
Yeah,
That's one good thing that I
yeah.
know
You
of.
know, you can go on all day about not liking open carry or not whatever, but
Hey, at
the
the end of the day, like seriously, like open carry, like I prefer that we have it, um, only for that one reason. Like if I do show it, somebody doesn't freak out, and then cops get involved.
yeah,
I wouldn't open carry. I would still conceal carry, but yeah, we're
yeah.
just conceal carry over here.
If we were in a society, if American society again did not criminalize guns and demonize guns, and if it was just like cars to us, I would open carry because it most likely it's a whole lot more comfortable like that.
Oh
But
yeah, it is.
that's not our society anymore. Our society is very scared of guns through
Dude,
media.
it's a lack of knowledge, man. It's a lack of knowledge. The people who are scared of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can sort of sympathize because for a long, up until a year or two ago, I was sort of scared of guns. It was more of like a healthy respect of it, because it is a dangerous item. If you act like it's not dangerous at all, you're an idiot.
No, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous if you use it wrong. But once I started learning the safety rules and it will not go off if there's not a round in the chamber and all different stuff like that. It will not fire on its own, unless you stick it in a microwave. But I mean, it will not go off on its own under regular conditions. You know, I handle them all the time. I go to gun shows, gun stores, pick them up, try them out. Hey, it's cool. There's nothing wrong. Like you said, it's all a matter of, hey, you think this is dangerous? Well, just come on, it's unloaded. Just hold it. It won't hurt you. You know, sort of like you get your dogs or your kids not scared of something. Just get them to touch it first, then maybe work them up to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I grew up where we were taught that you have respect for this, and even with toy guns, we didn't play like we didn't point it at each other. We were taught to like never point even a toy gun at somebody,
Hmm.
and like that kind of like just in case we did find a real gun for whatever reason. How many kids have shot themselves or shot their friends because they thought it was a toy gun and they pressed the trigger. So my
Yeah.
parents were like, hey, you play with guns, but never point at anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we grew up we grew up with marshmallow guns, Nerf guns, different stuff like that. So almost, but like any gun that like a BB gun or anything that shot a serious round, we knew not to point at each other or different stuff like that. You know,
So yeah, of course.
even starting out with archery, but dad made sure to tell us do not point these at each other. You know, different
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of people, even my mom is. I need to get her to shoot my shotgun sometime because she is extremely whenever I talked about getting a gun, even the 22, she was like, "Make sure you know gun safety and all this stuff." She's real big into safety. Like, she doesn't like that my shotgun's loaded at home. Now I keep around like my video home load shows. I keep around out of the chamber, and the tube is fully loaded. She still wasn't sure if it was safe. So I mean, I showed her with it, the tube load, nothing in the chamber. I said, first off, there's a safety on this that will not allow the trigger to pull. So and I pulled it. I'm like, and I had it pointed in a safe direction. Obviously, I had it at the ceiling. I wasn't pointing it at my nose or anything.
Right, right. Look, it's not doing anything.
If you're ever an idiot, make sure you're a safe idiot. So I showed her, it would not let me pull the trigger. But I said, even if the safety was off and I pulled it off, there's nothing in the chamber here, and I pulled it open a little, make sure there's nothing in the chamber. Like there's nothing in here for it to shoot. And I close it. So I'm like, so even if I did pull the trigger, click, nothing's gonna happen. So it is completely safe. I mean, even if I did, when there's kids around, I have it up high on somewhere where only somebody who's, you know, 5'10" can grab it. It's even sort of hard to see if you're not looking for it. But even if some kid did get their hands on it, they don't know how to work the slide release. They wouldn't know you had to pull it the slide back and chuck it back in for it to be dangerous. So there's
And
like
dude, that's like
three
like
layers.
all my stuff is locked up. Um, I never have something in the chamber ready to go. I always have to rack or like something.
Yeah,
Even my conceal, I don't have it in the chamber. I have kids around me all the time because my kids, uh, I I just don't trust the safety. Even like my gun has a trigger safety, my concealed carry.
yeah,
Even if it had like the regular safeties in it, like I still wouldn't, dude. Like, all that stuff can go wrong quick,
yeah.
and like I don't want to be liable for somebody's death because a gun went bad, you know.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
and that's one thing I train on when I do go to the range. I train on pulling out and racking quick.
So you carry it without a round in the chamber.
Right, right.
Okay. Is that?
So yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I carry up in the front. So
Oh, appendix carry.
yep,
That's what
yep.
I'm looking into because my different studies and stuff. That's what I think I could pull off the best.
And that's a quicker draw for me. I'm drawing like a
Yeah, ghetto style. It's how
right,
it's how it comes in the box. It's got to be right.
right. I'm drawing out like quick like this, and
Uh
it's
huh.
in front of me versus going back and reaching for it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you can have your hands like in your pocket just talking to somebody. Something goes bad quick, you come up and you draw out right away, and your hands are already there.
Yeah. See, even the
So
knife fixed blade knife that I have on me, trying to train myself for carrying something, I have it on the front, and I've learned a few different things. Like number one, nobody really notices it any at all, even if it does poke through a little. But I found one. I think about it one day. I was thinking about appendix, carrying that. I thought, and if somebody spots you printing at that area of your body, they have a bigger issue than finding a gun on you. They need to see some more help than just being gun scared. But
yeah, when I have like my knife or something like or like the gun like just printing like up on the front, and you can actually tell it's a gun.
Uh-huh.
I'll wear a cell phone. It's like a holder that I have. It's from Mossy Oak also. It's all camo. I put that up in the front so there's the eye draws attention to the phone versus a gun. So
That's smart.
I'll just try to take somebody's attention off of that, and
Yeah,
something that's not normal.
that's a good idea. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I carried that knife with me through the week-long camp we had at our church, and I made sure, kids can get to it. I always hid myself when I was always like hiding behind my suits and different stuff when I put it on me. And whenever I had a dress suit on it, where I had it sort of open, carry whatever, always had my jacket covering it. I never took my jacket off when I had that on me. Different stuff, made sure it was covered, all that stuff. Nobody even thought I had it on me, you know. So I mean, granted,
Yeah,
it's a knife and not a handgun.
I carry a knife also. I have the the handgun, the knife,
Yeah,
and and it's one of those things where like I used to box when I was younger, so I'm gonna try to box somebody before like actually putting out some kind of weapon. So
I wish I had some sort of hand-to-hand combat training. But I when I wasn't interested in soccer as a kid, and we never had money to get us into any organized stuff like that. But I've always, like I said, I've been interested in the military for a good long time. So I would have loved to learn karate or something. Now I'm pretty interested in that KC fighting method. But you know,
KC
like
fighting.
Krav Maga, anything.
Okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
It,
Yeah,
it,
I have two friends that were in the MMA, UFC fighting.
oh, that's
They
cool.
didn't make it too far up
Uh-huh.
the ranks, but they actually, dude, one of them that I know that the other one I don't know what happened, but the other one I know he did two matches and he lost both of them, and they gave him $5,000 for
For
each match
losing.
for losing. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Man,
I would love to lose for $5,000.
I know. But yeah, so I mean, even now I'm trying to look into getting some sort of hand combat training because what if you can't get to your gun real quick or different stuff like that. If like some people say, it might not be safe to use a handgun, but you still have to defend yourself. How do you use your hands? But
Yeah,
that's
and
also be
dude,
documented.
that's the other thing, man. Because the day you pull that gun out and you kill somebody, like it's not gonna end there. You have to deal with a lot after that.
Yeah,
The
the legal.
courts, it's a big mess,
Plus,
and
there's
that's
also
why.
the mental
It,
repercussions too. The human mind is not made to handle killing people, at least normal minds.
right, unless
So
that's your, what you do for 9 to 5.
true. If you're in the military, still it tears some people up, but I mean, or you're mentally deranged.
Yeah,
That's why I say normal minds, because if you enjoy the carnage of killing, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, I
humans, not animals.
Oh yeah, animals is the part. That's one of the things separating us from animals is that knowledge,
And
conscience, and stuff.
and that's the thing I tell people because a lot of people are like, oh, they're against hunting this and that. I'm like, where do you think your food comes from? Like, you have to get it. It isn't just appear.
Look, you should almost make the argument that hunting is more humane than, buying packaged meat because hunting, they're just out in the wild minding their business, and then they're on your dinner table. Packaged meat, they are born to be food. They don't live a normal life at all. They eat hormones to make them bigger to make them taste better for you. You
That
know,
and it's probably like the slaughterhouse that's torturing them. You never know that side of that, you
yeah.
know?
A lot of people, I know two or three people that are vegans because they know what goes on at those places. So,
Dude,
but
I've seen those videos and stuff, and like, I'll still eat the meat,
yeah,
so it's still good.
meat is meat.
It,
But
it, it sucks that that happens, but hey, you
yeah,
can't control everybody, I
no.
guess.
But yeah. So you got anything else on your mind to get off, or
I don't know. I think I've covered like everything.
I've covered more than I even wanted to cover.
It's
But
awesome.
yeah. Well, thanks for doing this. Yeah,
Thank
if anybody's still watching or if anybody's watching later, try checking him out. You know, if you're watching from his channel, think about checking me out too.
you.
So
Oh, yeah,
plug it,
yeah.
sort of
Thank you
selfish
for
plug
having
there.
me. Right.
But yeah, thanks a lot again. And before we close off, I'll remind you all to walk a Christian walk and carry a loaded Glock.
Yep.